At Ritual, we know what goes into a magical holiday season. The potluck planning, the gift giving, the spreadsheets. This new year, take a moment for yourself with simple, daily rituals that help you put your foundational health at the top of your to-do list. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 Plus multivitamin is a clinically backed multivitamin featuring 9 high-quality key essential ingredients to help you fill key nutrient gaps in your diet. Or maybe you're stressing your daily protein intake, or you want to double down on support for your gut microbiome. From plant-based essential protein to 3-in-1 pre, pro, and postbiotic strains with Symbiotic Plus, Ritual helps you focus on supporting your body after a long season of juggling everybody else. And for a limited time, do it with 30% off a 3-month supply at ritual.com/podcast. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At your job, do you ever have to deal with a nose roller? How about a snub pulley? Well, if you're installing a new conveyor belt system, dealing with the different components can sound like you're speaking a foreign language. Luckily, you've got a team ready to help. Grainger's technical product specialists are fluent in maintenance, repair, and operations. So whenever you want to talk shop, just reach out. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at the Rams and Saints game from December 1st. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you're as interested in this one as we are. We got some great articles to help us out today from Turf Show Times and Fox Sports. Oh, and we even peeked at the Wikipedia page. You know how that goes. Sometimes reliable, sometimes not so much.
Yeah, Wikipedia can be a mixed bag for sure. But, what's really fascinating about this game, it's not just about the Rams winning. This game was a turning point. It's a story of resilience for them and how they adapted to win. This game really shows Sean McVay's impact as a coach for the Rams.
Yeah, this win was kind of a big deal for McVay too, right?
Oh, absolutely. This was McVay's 76th win as head coach, which makes him the Rams' all-time leader for regular season wins. He actually just surpassed John Robinson.
Wow. To do that in this league is pretty amazing, especially these days.
Definitely. McVay has revolutionized the league. I mean, his offenses are so innovative. He took the Rams, who were struggling before him, and turned them into a powerhouse team. They even won a Super Bowl.
And speaking of amazing, this game was a real nail-biter. It was a tale of two halves. That first half was a defensive slugfest. I almost thought I was watching a different sport.
Yeah, it was a real chess match out there. The Saints came in with a really specific game plan. They wanted to stop the Rams' offense. They were mixing up their coverages, really keeping Stafford on his toes. It forced him to make decisions quickly.
Okay.
And honestly, it worked, at least for the first half.
You're telling me I was starting to get worried. I mean, a McVay-coached Rams team getting shut out the first half, that's almost unheard of.
Right. It was definitely a surprise. The Rams only had 23 plays in the first half, compared to the Saints' 40. But the Rams' defense held strong. They bent but didn't break. The Saints only scored 2 field goals, so at halftime it was 6-0. Saints were winning.
Okay, so not the start the Rams were hoping for. But then they come out in the second half.
Yeah.
And it's like a completely different team.
I know, right? Whatever McVay said at halftime, it worked.
What happened in that locker room?
Well, they came out energized, and their opening drive in the third quarter was just beautiful to watch. 70 yards over 10 plays, and it ended with a touchdown from Kyren Williams.
Yeah, that was such a great run. It seemed like that touchdown just ignited something in the Rams.
Yeah, it was like a switch flipped. You could feel the momentum shift. Williams had a breakout game that day. He ended up with 104 rushing yards on only 15 carries.
Wow.
And that 4-yard touchdown run, it really got their offense going.
So Williams got things going, but Stafford really turned it on in the second half too.
Oh, yeah. He finished with 243 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. But it wasn't just about the numbers. It was about his leadership.
What do you mean?
Well, they came out at halftime after a scoreless first half. The pressure was on, and Stafford really rallied the team.
So what changed for Stafford? Was it McVay's play calling? Did Stafford just change his mindset?
Well, McVay definitely made some adjustments at halftime. They simplified the play calls and focused on getting the run game going with Williams, and that opened things up for Stafford.
Yeah, that 46-yard completion to Demarcus Robinson late in the third quarter, that was a huge moment.
Oh, absolutely. That play shifted the momentum completely, and it set up Robinson's touchdown at the start of the fourth.
Which gave them the lead.
Exactly.
Robinson was crucial to their scoring drives. And it wasn't just him. Puka Nacua also had a 7-yard touchdown reception in the fourth quarter. Stafford connected with Nakua, and that gave the Rams the winning edge.
Yeah, Naku had a great game. 5 receptions for 56 yards.
Yeah.
And that crucial touchdown.
But of course, it wouldn't be a Rams game without a little drama. The Saints fought back.
Yeah.
And tied the game at 14-14. I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it was a real back-and-forth battle. You could feel the tension in the stadium. Both teams were playing with so much intensity.
And then Jordan Whittington returns that kick, 43 yards. And the momentum swings right back to the Rams.
Talk about a game changer. Special teams plays are so important. They can really make a difference in a game. That return by Whittington gave the Rams amazing field position and set them up for that winning touchdown.
And then that final defensive stand. The Saints got all the way to the Rams' 9-yard line. I thought they were going to tie it.
Yeah, that was a close one. It came down to a 4th down play, and rookie Jared Verse came up huge for the Rams. He put so much pressure on Derek Carr that Carr's pass fell incomplete. It was a clutch play by Verse. He's definitely looking like a strong candidate for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
That was a crazy moment. Verse has been so impressive this season.
He's a force to be reckoned with, and that final play, it sealed the deal for the Rams. They beat the Saints 21-14, a game that will be remembered for a long time, not just for how exciting it was, but also for what it means for Sean McVay and the Rams franchise.
It really felt like more than just a win for the Rams. It was a statement game. It showed their resilience and how they can adapt. And, of course, it secured McVay's place in Rams history. What do you think makes McVay so different from other coaches? What's his secret?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? I think it's a combination of things. He's got these innovative offensive schemes. He's really good at adapting his game plan. And I think, most importantly, he knows how to connect with his players and create a winning culture.
You mentioned his offensive schemes. What makes them so unique?
Well, they're known for being creative and unpredictable. He uses a ton of different formations and personnel groupings, and he's always using pre-snap motions. He's really good at disguising plays. It often looks like one thing. Then when the ball is snapped, it turns out to be something completely different.
So he's like playing 4D chess out there.
Yeah, something like that. His offenses are designed to create mismatches and take advantage of weaknesses in the defense. He's not afraid to take risks, which keeps the other team on their toes.
We saw that in the second half. McVay made adjustments at halftime, simplified the play calling, focused on the run game.
Exactly, and it changed the whole game. That's one of McVay's strengths. He can adapt and make adjustments. He's always analyzing the game, figuring out what's working and what's not, and then he makes changes.
And we can't forget how he interacts with his players. He seems to have a really good relationship with them. It feels like more than just a typical coach-player relationship.
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's so important. Coaching isn't just about the plays. It's about building relationships, motivating your players, creating the right environment. McVay's really good at that.
So McVay's impact on the Rams has been huge. But how does he compare to John Robinson, the coach whose record he just broke?
It's an interesting comparison. Robinson coached in a different era. It was a different game back then.
Right.
Robinson led the Rams to 5 straight NFC West titles and a Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah. His teams were known for being tough. They had that ground chuck offense.
Exactly. Robinson knew how to build a strong running game. His teams were physical and tough. McVay's style is very different. He's all about that high-flying passing offense.
So 2 different eras, 2 different styles, but both incredibly successful. It's really interesting to see how the game has evolved.
Speaking of evolving, Stafford had a quiet first half, but then he just exploded in the second. It was like he needed that struggle to really get going.
That's a good point. Stafford seems to do well under pressure.
He definitely has that clutch gene.
He does. He rises to the occasion. When the stakes are high.
Think about his Super Bowl run with the Rams. He had some amazing performances in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. He made some clutch throws and led the team to victory.
He seems to embrace the challenge.
It's like the adversity fuels him.
That's what separates the good quarterbacks from the greats.
Yeah.
Being able to stay calm under pressure.
Totally agree. Stafford has proven he can do that. He has the mental toughness to handle those situations.
And it's not just his mental toughness. He has a really strong arm. He can make throws that other quarterbacks can't.
Yeah, he can thread the needle. He can extend plays with his mobility. He can make those deep throws.
He's a special quarterback. He is. He's got the physical skills and the mental toughness. He's a dangerous weapon for the Rams.
And he's got some great weapons around him, too.
Yeah.
Williams, Robinson, Nakua. They all played a big role in this win.
Yeah, they do have a good mix of talent. Veterans and young players. They've got playmakers all over the field.
It's interesting, though. They still struggle in the first half.
Yeah.
Even with all that talent.
Right. That shows how effective the Saints' defense was.
They really disrupted the Rams' rhythm.
They did. They mixed up their coverages and disguised their blitzes. Stafford never knew it was coming.
It was really something. To see how the Rams adapted the second half, they simplified things, went back to basics, focused on the run game.
Yeah, they went back to their strengths.
It was like they just needed a reminder of who they are as a team.
It definitely neutralized the Saints' strategy. Kyren Williams running the ball, opened up the passing game for Stafford. They were able to control the tempo of the game.
And you can't forget about special teams. That kick return from Whittington, that was huge.
Yeah. Absolutely. Special teams can be so important. They can change the whole momentum of a game. That return gave the Rams great field position, and it set them up for the win.
It makes you wonder, if the Saints had stopped that kick return, would the outcome have been different?
Maybe. It's hard to say. Every play in football can be a game changer.
That's true. Speaking of game changers, Jared Verse. That final defensive stand, the pressure he put on Carr, that was incredible.
Verse has been amazing this season.
He was a rookie coming into this season, and he's already making a huge impact.
He's a real disruptor on that defensive line.
So this win was big for the Rams. They're 6-6 now. Their playoff hopes are still alive. The Saints, on the other hand, they're 4-8. It's looking tough for them.
This game really had an impact on both teams. For the Rams, it was a must-win. They showed a lot of grit, and they're going to need to keep playing like that if they want to make the playoffs.
And for the Saints.
Well, they're going to need to win a lot of games and get some help from other teams if they want to make the postseason.
So we've talked about the key plays, the coaching decisions, the individual performances. But the big question is, can the Rams keep this up? Can they become a real contender in the NFC?
It's hard to say for sure. They've shown they can be a great team.
Right.
But they need to be consistent.
Consistency is key.
If they can find a way to play at this level every week, then they have a chance. They could definitely be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, only time will tell. It's going to be an exciting finish to the season, that's for sure.
The NFL is always unpredictable.
That's why we love it.
That's right.
So there you have it, our deep dive into the Rams versus Saints game. But don't let the conversation end here. Go do some more research. Learn more about Kyren Williams or Jared Verse. Maybe even dive into the history of the Rams and compare McVay to John Robinson. There's always more to discover. So keep diving, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.
If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.